Who the hell am I? Good question. Co-founder of a company called Contour, which probably needs very little translation into Swedish, but we started, co-founder James and I, we started Contour a couple of years ago to find office space, particularly for startups, scale-ups, and now more so established businesses across London and now across Europe as well. We focus predominantly working with companies within the creative industries, so work with a lot of tech, fashion, media, design companies that typically scaling. Since in the last 2 years, we've found over 125,000 square meters of office space for our clients, and we've had the pleasure of working with over 250 companies in that time. And we've been very fortunate with their support to be recognised as one of the top 100 startups in the UK this year. Firstly, I love Sweden, so it was a natural thing when we were walking around previously in Stockholm, it registered, but also it's got a play on meaning in the UK, obviously contour lines on a map, different spelling. But the idea being is you can search, find. Contour was a direct translation, and the website contour.space, office space, and it sort of seemed to make sense. And even the Swedishisms run further through, as our corporate colours are blue and yellow. So it was just meant to be. My answer to that is categoric 100%. I might be biased, obviously, because that's kind of the way that we lean and part of our business. But it was one of the questions that got asked on our panel as well: is are we actually just living in a bubble, or is this actually going to have a real impact? And I think, as a sort of, if you look at it as a market valuation, real estate as an industry is huge, and it impacts all of us on a day-to-day in our day-to-day life, whether that's residential or commercial. And so I think the room for prop tech itself is vast, and I think we're only just getting started with some of the innovations into the industry. Arguably, it's a late adopter of technology, but you can already see examples. I mean, one of the most prominent being companies like Airbnb, who have facilitated whole new arenas within the real estate industry. But in the commercial side now, you're getting much faster adoption, particularly in the UK. Companies like VTS, WiredScore, Datscha, obviously making real impacts into the market, and I think we're just getting started. I'm not of the opinion personally that prop tech is designed nor destined to completely remove the human element within our industry and completely disintermediate the role of agents or brokers or anything like that. I think actually its role is to really make what we do much more efficient, and therefore driving greater value, enabling us to drive greater value and customer service to the end user, whether it's tenants, residential or commercial. Again, historically it's been an industry that's been slow to adopt, but I think now people are really starting to see the benefits of, again, products like Datscha and the time and the money that it can save. It is very complementary to the sort of day-to-day work that we do. I think, again, sort of referring back to my piece about technology and the impact it will have in terms of driving greater efficiency, I think for me, I'm really passionate both obviously about the commercial and the office sector, but also very much of the kind of residential sector as well, and the problems that every city, Stockholm, London, New York, faces in terms of affordability. So I think technology can play a role in both the actual production of the buildings as well. So the faster that we can make them, the less wastage we can make them, then that means the costs will come down, and hopefully that will be passed on. So, we've all read the stats that by 2050, the majority of people are going to be freelancers. There's going to be more and more people living in cities. Therefore, we need to be building quicker and more. and then hopefully that will enable the affordability of cities to become apparent. And then for the sort of the commercial side, I think it's key as well, and in London especially, a lot more needs to be done in terms of the workspace and the ecosystems and the communities for startups and the next generation of businesses. The majority, 90% in London, are sub 10 people, and that's only going to continue. And the worst thing we can do is not provide enough affordable workspace for those types of businesses to hamper their growth. So for me, in short, I think technology has a real role to play to drive efficiencies and increase affordability in cities, which I think will ultimately benefit all of us.